Welcome for this lecture 32. In this lecture, we will explore some misconceptions about the instantaneous reactive power theory. Although we have discussed it more detail and we have analyzed for a compensator that how to formulate the compensation objectives for the compensator. And we also have shown by demonstration, by simulation, that the scheme works. But still there are some issues that need to be addressed by this theory. So today we will talk about this, since most of you are research students and you need more critical, more kind of a serious understanding of these concepts which you will apply in your research work as well. So this is just a glimpse that how to be analyze any concept in a more detail and try to see how they match the standard definition of the active and reactive components of the powers and currents. So we will take this thing by considering an example that will be more better to have a deep insight into the problem. So let us take a three-phase, three-wire system where the loads are connected on the secondary side of the transformer. So there is a transformer and the transformer is 1:1, as you can see from this. Okay, so transformer is 1:1 here. That means the voltage transformed from this winding to this winding is 1:1 relationship. So is the current. This configuration is interesting because the primary side is the delta and the secondary side is star. So this is delta connected and this is star connected. Okay, and at the secondary a load of 4 ohm resistance is connected between point A and the ground here. So the current that flows is only in phase A and it starts from this point, follows the path as shown by dashed or dotted points, dashed line or dotted points. Okay, and current is straightforward, that this current IA, secondary side current IA, will be nothing but BA by R. BA with respect to this ground, which is 0. So basically BA by R. And the current IB and IC will be 0 because there is no load connected between phase A and ground and between phase C and ground. So IB and IC will be 0. Okay, so we will study this. The primary of this transformer, which is delta connected, is supplied by a three-phase source whose voltages are given as following: BA, BB and BC. I have used the capital letter ABC for primary side. Okay, so note specific attention for the notations. A, this capital A and capital B and capital C is for primary side. Small a, small b, small c is being used for the secondary side. So we are given that this voltage is 230 RMS at frequency of 50 Hz applied from the source to the primary winding, and hence we can express these voltages as root 2 into 230 sine omega t, then root 2 into 230 sine omega t minus 120 and root 2 into 230 sine omega t plus 120 degree. This is time domain expressions for the voltages, this side, and this is the phasor domain expressions. So in phasor we can express them by RMS value and its angle. Similarly, phase B, RMS value its angle, and phase C, RMS value and its phase angle. This is peak value. Okay, root 2 into 230 is peak value. So these primary voltages are applied. These voltages are applied at the primary of the transformer here. Okay, primary side. These BA, BB and BC. Now by law of induction, these binding voltages are transformed to secondary side. Okay, so these voltages are transformed to the secondary side here. By transformer ratio, which is 1:1, and hence the secondary side voltage, if you see this binding voltage, will be this voltage. Okay, so this voltage is transformed to this voltage, let us say minus plus, is transformed to this voltage. It means the line to line voltages are transformed as a phase voltages on the secondary side. So first we will have line to line voltages to get the phase voltage on the secondary side. So line to line primary voltages, this is between A and B. This is point A, this is point B. You can see it here. The point B is here. So this becomes line to line voltage. Alright, this becomes line to line voltage. And these line to line voltages can be found by simple phasor expressions or by time expressions. Line to line voltage is root 3 by 2, root 3 of RMS value and phase angle of 30 degree. You can find from the phasor also. Suppose this is my A phase and this is my B phase, this is C phase, then BA minus BB, this is BA, this is BB, then BA minus BB will be like this is BB, and make a parallelogram from this, join them together, you will find BAB. Okay, BAB will be therefore this one. So this is BAB is nothing but root 3 into RMS value into angle of 30 degree. Therefore, this is BAB, root 3B angle of 30 degree, which is 398.37 for angle of 30 degree, because B is 230 volts. So you can multiply 230 into root 3. Similarly, we can find out BBC. So BBC is also root 3B angle of minus 90 degree, because they are symmetrically displaced, they are balanced. So just add minus 120 to BAB, we shall get BBC. So 398.37 angle of minus 90 degree. And then we will find VCA, which is root 3B angle of 150 degree. Add 120 to 130, 230, it becomes 150. Therefore 398.37 angle of 150 degree. So these are three phase line to line voltages on the primary side, which are applied across the primary winding of the delta connected transformer. Here in this figure you can see that these voltages are appearing between these points, like minus plus, let us say, or minus plus. So this is BCA, this is BC, this is BAB. Now by induction, these voltages appear as phase voltages on the secondary side, because this BAB winding reflects the voltage here minus plus. Okay, so actually this voltage is BAB, therefore BA equal to BAB. So secondary side, therefore the phase voltage will be same as BA equal to BAB. If you want, you can write equal to BAB in phasor domain. So I can put this way to make it more clear. What I am saying is this. Okay, so this is B A B, primary side. This is B B C, primary side B C. This is B C A, and these voltages are reflected as secondary voltage B A, B B and B C, and therefore their values are same as B A B, B C, B C A, which are written here, 398.37 angle of 30 and the same magnitude angle of minus 90 and 398.37 angle of 150 degree. And once we know these in phasor domain, we can also express in terms of the time domain. Just multiply root 2, so 398.37 into root 2 become peak value and sine omega t plus 30 degree, because 30 degree comes from this phase shift. Similarly, BB becomes 398.37 root 2 sine omega t minus 90, and BCT becomes 398.37 root 2 sine omega t plus 150 degree. Okay, so we know now the secondary voltages that appear across the secondary winding. Once we know these voltages, all right, once we know these voltages, then we can find out the secondary currents. Secondary currents will be therefore these voltages Y impedance, because this is 3-phase 4-wire on the secondary side and there's a neutral grounding is there, and therefore we can find IA is equal to BAYR. So actually this is BAYR. So if I put in form of the voltages, then it becomes like this. It becomes here as BA small BA by R equal to this. Now BA is root 3B, and into root 2 becomes peak value in time domain into sine omega t plus 30 degree YR. R is here 4 ohms, so you can write 4 ohms here, and the value of B is 230. This is 230. Multiply them and solve them, then we will get the root 2 root 3 B by R as root 2 into 99.59. So I can write like this, root 2 into 99.59 sine omega t plus 30 degree, and this is written in form of phasor. This is RMS value 99.59 angle of 30 degree. IB will be 0, IC will be 0, because there are no impedances between phase B and between C and the ground. As you can see from the figure here, there is no load here. Okay, so these phases are free. These phases are free. This is also free. And hence they are open. Impedance is infinite and current is 0, and therefore IB and IC are 0. This and this is 0. So only A phase carries the current. Now this current gets reflected on the primary side. So this current is IA, suppose. This is IA, just you found, it gets reflected on the primary side, second here, IA. So this is IA, capital IA. Since the transformer ratio is 1:1, so same current will appear across this binding, and hence IA will be nothing but I small a. This current is 0, this current is 0, therefore 0 current will reflect here, and this whole current reflects this side. Alright, this implies that in this binding the current is 0, and in this binding the current is 0, we have taken an ideal transformer. And therefore IA is same as small ia, I small a, which is I angle of 30 degrees. So same current reflects in this binding, and therefore IV is same as minus IA, because in this side if you write the voltage equation, Kirchhoff voltage equation here, KVL, then the path is like this. That's all. And therefore this IB becomes minus IA from the direction of the flow. So therefore IB becomes minus IA, therefore minus I angle of 30 degree. And IC is 0 as per the geometry of the transformer, the binding connections. Okay. Now once we know these primary currents and we know the primary voltages here, then we can find out the powers and the corresponding current components. So these voltages are reflected in terms of the time domain. Similarly, currents in time domain, IA becomes root 2 into I sin omega t plus 30 degree, and IV equal to minus root 2I sin omega t plus 30 degree. IC is 0. And these are the time domain expressions for the voltage on the primary side. Okay, so now we are clear. The secondary side voltage, secondary side currents, primary side voltage, primary side currents. We can also compute the corresponding power components. You may be thinking that it sounds similar to something. In our previous studies, do you remember when we were defining the different powers, the apparent powers as well as apparent power factors? We have considered a three-phase unbalanced system where a load was connected between phase A and the phase B. It was like this system. Do you recall that? We have discussed in the second unit three-phase systems, and we were discussing about three-phase unbalanced system, and this is an example of the severe unbalanced three-phase system where the resistance is connected between A and B. So this is A here and this is B here. So A point and B point, resistance between A and B point. So for this, obviously the current is IA will be BA minus BB by R, which is nothing but BAB by R. And this is same line to line voltage by resistance. The same current appears here. You can see it here. This is nothing but root 3 for balance voltage, root 3B angle of 30 degree divided by R. And this is no longer different from what we have got here. Okay, this is same as this. So this example is actually similar to what we have considered in the beginning when we were discussing three-phase, three-wire system. The only difference is that here you have to connect the three-phase power supply, so you can forget this part and connect here three-phase power supply here. BA itself is BA here, so this is BB, this is BC, and this is neutral is grounded. Connect this together and make it grounded here. This you forget. This is BA, BB, BC. That's all. If you take primary side, it will be like BA, this is BB, and this is BC. So this example can be reduced to this one. In form of circuit expression, it becomes simply this one. if you look from the utility side. And hence the results are same as far as the power computations are concerned. For example, here if we find out the secondary side powers, so we will use small letter a for secondary side. So this is SA, SB and SC. Okay, so SA will be equal to SA bar, so it's a complex apparent power, is the product of BA into IA conjugate. And BA is 398.37 angle of 30 degree and IA conjugate is 99.57 angle of minus 30, because conjugate of IA is conjugate of the angle becomes negative. Multiply this, we will get 39,675 watts plus J0. So QA is 0 and PA is this much. Okay, so in A phase the real power is 39,675 watts and QA is equal to 0 watts. For B phase, since currents are 0, so this current is 0, this is 0, and because of the 0 currents, the reactive the apparent power will be 0. Hence this implies actually that PV equal to 0 and QB equal to 0, this PC equal to 0 and QC equal to 0. Therefore, the total real power on the secondary side of transformer will be PA plus PB plus PC will be 39,675 watts, because others powers are 0, so this will be same as PA. If one can write this also equal to PA. And the net reactive power is equal to 0. Okay, which looks fine because there is no reactive load, there is no capacitive or inductive load, and hence the net reactive power is equal to 0. Forget about the net reactive power, even the individual reactive powers are equal to 0. That means QA equal to QB equal to QC, even they are 0. So the whole circuit behaves like a single phase system. Obviously it is single phase system because we are supplying only one phase or one kind of a load, only resistance between A and B. So there is only P, that's all, which is total active power, real power. But if we compute the primary side powers, okay, that is SA, SB and SC. If we compute the primary side power of the transformer, then we can write BA into IA conjugate, where A is capital. So capital notation refers for the primary side. Then this is BB into IB conjugate, and this is BC into IC conjugate. So BA is 230 angle of 0 into 99.37 angle of minus 30 because conjugate, and this becomes 19,837.5 minus J 11,453.16 volt amperes. So this is PA actually. You can write this is PA capital A plus J QA capital. And SB bar will be BB into IB conjugate, 230 angle of minus 120 into minus 99.37, this was the minus IA, conjugate of this equal to 19,837.5 plus J 11,453.16. So this is actually PB plus JPQB. But you see, primary side there is a reactive power QA. This is the reactive power. And phase B also has a reactive power QB, which is equal to this. And they are opposite of each other, as if they form the lagging and leading power factor. The current in phase A leads, so this become a capacitive kind of a load in phase A, and in phase B becoming like a inductive load for phase B. I would write phase A rather than A, it will be better. So this is phase A, and this we have studied in three-phase system. In fact, that's what I am saying, this is similar to what we have done earlier. Okay, if you study this system, you will find the same configurations. So this reflects the primary side of the transformer. The whole circuit is seen as a primary side of the transformer. Okay, so what do we see? If we add the total power P, PA plus PB plus PC here, this term, then it will be same as the primary, the secondary one 39,675 watts, and Q will be equal to QA plus QB plus QC. Make them capital because this is primary side, so this is QB, this is QC. Then we see here the net reactive power is equal to 0 watts, because QA equal to minus QB and QC equal to 0. If we sum them, then it becomes 0. So if you look as a whole, then there is no difference. Primary side, same real power and 0 reactive power, and secondary side, same real power and same reactive power, net reactive power. But if you look phase wise, then they are different. Phase A and phase B have some power factor of 0.8, that is cos 30 lead, and 0.8 again cos 30 lag. So phase A and phase B experience as if the capacitive load in phase A and inductive load in phase B. We have discussed in more detail in the previous example in the unit 3rd. Okay, it is just a revisiting of what we have done earlier. And we have found the power factor based on this. This is all fine. This is standard circuit analysis of this three-phase unbalanced system. But we are more interested to know the application of instantaneous reactive power theory for this particular example. If we resolve the primary currents of this type into their active reactive components using the power transformations based on instantaneous reactive power theory, or they matching the standard definitions of the currents and the powers. So this is the question. Okay, so for that we have to go through the alpha, beta and 0 transformations and see that, find out the power components P and Q, and then analyze in form of the active and reactive components of the currents. Okay, so particularly for this configuration, which is three-phase 3-wire system, actually looking from the primary side. We look from the primary side, then it is seen as three-phase 3-wire system. Should I copy again once this diagram? Will be better. Okay, I have removed it. You just take this diagram down here. Control C. Here. I don't know where I copied. Alright, so we are here. So essentially this circuit is 3-phase 3-wire system when looked from the utility side. Okay, and as you have seen in the previous example that how it is seen. So finally if you look from this side, then it is a 3-phase 3-wire system. Therefore the summation of 3-phase current, the zero sequence component of current will be equal to 0, which means IA plus IB plus IC will be equal to 0. And since the 3-phase voltage are balanced, then B0 is also equal to 0, which implies that BA plus BB either in time domain or phasor domain will be equal to 0. Okay, so this system has a property that B0 equal to 0 because of 3-phase balance system, and I0 is also equal to 0 because it has a 3-phase 3-wire configuration. And this implies essentially this is 2-phase system because the third phase is redundant. For example, I can express BC equal to minus BA minus BB. Similarly, I can express IC equal to minus IA minus IB. Okay, so we can express the third phase, any third phase A or B, C, in terms of the remaining 2 phases. So only 2 phases are independent, the third phase is dependent. So essentially the whole circuit is 2-phase system because zero sequence equal to 0. And therefore this standard transformation from ABC, we look at here, this is BA, this is BB, this is BC, can be transformed to B0, B alpha and B beta by alpha beta 0 transformation, and the matrix is root 2 by 3. This is 1 by root 2, 1 by root 2, 1 by root 2, 1 minus half, and root 3, 0 root 3 by 2 minus root 3 by 2. Similarly, the 3-phase current, okay, can be resolved into I0, I alpha, I beta. This we have done many times, and the elements of this matrix here. Okay, so that is not a big deal for us because we know how to transform these quantities into the respective alpha 0 alpha beta components. But here the thing is that B0 is 0 and I0 is 0. So this is 0 and this is 0, and therefore we can eliminate the 3 by 3 system to 2 by 2. Okay, since B0 is 0, so this row is gone actually, both sides, and therefore it becomes B alpha B beta root 2 by 3. This row will be there. So 1 minus half, 0 root 3 by 2 minus root 3 by 2, and this side we have a BB, BA, BB and BC. Okay, and for current we have I alpha, I beta, and 1 minus half, 0 root 3 by 2 minus root 3 by 2, IA, IB, IC. Now this side if you look, okay, this side and this side, we have still 3 variables, but actually 2 are enough because third is dependent upon the rest 2, and therefore we will express BC as minus BA minus BB and IC as minus IA, IB. Okay, now once we express this BC and IC in terms of A and B, then this system becomes 2 by 2. So what is B alpha? B alpha is from this row, the first row if you see is BA here minus BB by 2 half and minus BC by 2, this half. Okay, so this half converts to this half, this converts to this minus half, and this one converts to BA. Root 2 by 3. Now we express BB and BC in terms of BA. So this minus BB by 2 minus BC by 2 becomes A by 2, BA by 2. So BA by 2 and this BA. This is in time domain, so you can use time domain. I think we should not use phasor domain. We can also use phasor domain because only one frequency is there, but may be consistent here. So this becomes minus BA by 2 equal to plus BA by 2 equal to minus BB by 2 minus BC by 2. Substitute in this, it becomes therefore BA plus BA by 2. This becomes 3BA by 2. The whole thing becomes 3BA by 2 into root 2 by 3. So this into 2 by 3 root, and finally it becomes root 3 by 2 BA. So B alpha is nothing but simply root 3 by 2 BA. Okay. So this gives B alpha as root 3 by 2 into BA. Root 3 by 2 into BA. This is B alpha. Then find B beta. B beta becomes here root 2 by 3 from transformation. This one root 2 by 3. Okay. This root 2 by 3 here, and then becomes 0 into BA, so 0 into BA, root 3 by 2 into BB, this is root 3 by 2 into BB minus BC, this is minus BC, okay. So this is minus, this is plus. Again we substitute BC in terms of BA, so BC is minus BA minus BB, and minus sign is already here, so it becomes plus BA minus minus plus, and 1 BB from this, 1 BB from this, so plus 2 BB. Now 1 by root 2 is this side here, so 1 by root 2 into the whole term becomes BA by root 2 here, and then plus root 2 into BB. And therefore I alpha, similarly we can find out I alpha equal to root 3 by 2 into IA, and I beta in terms of the IA and IB is IA by root 2 plus root 2 into I beta. Okay. So this is similar to what we have found for voltage, like B alpha is equal to root 3 by 2 BA, and B beta equal to BA by root 2 plus root 2 into BB. So this and these expressions are similar. This is for currents on the primary side, and this is for voltages. So we have expressed now alpha beta in terms of A and B. It's like two phases to two phase conversion. Okay, and therefore this can be written in the matrix form. As you can see, B alpha and B beta equal to root 3 by 2, 0, 1 by root 2, root 2, this is BA, this is BB, C is redundant, and I alpha and I beta in terms of the I and IB is root 3 by 2, 0, 1 by root 2 and root 2. And once we know these voltage and currents in alpha beta domain, now we are ready to compute the different powers and different current components using this alpha beta zero transformation or using the instantaneous reactive power theory. Okay. So the next step is to find out the powers P and Q on the primary side. So this is P and this is Q. As you know that P is nothing but B alpha into I alpha plus B beta into I beta, and Q is V alpha into I beta cross terms minus B beta into I alpha. Or this can be expressed in form of the matrix, that P and Q here equal to, the matrix is B alpha here, this is B beta, and this is minus B beta and V alpha. So this into, here is I alpha and I beta. So all 3 by 3 relations are now transformed into 2 by 2 matrix. Okay. So with this we can express the various power components, and then we resolve these power components in terms of the current components, their active and reactive components. Then again we transform into alpha beta to ABC parameters, and then we see that how they appear and what they signifies in terms of the various relationships of active and reactive components of the currents. You will be surprised to see that these component of currents, like let us say I active components AP or IBP and so on, they will be containing not only the fundamental but also the third harmonic. They contain not only the active but reactive components as well, which is quite surprise in terms of the standard definition of the active and reactive components of the currents. So that I will address in the next class and complete this example.